Okay, there's something here I want to show you guys about these infinities, and this also relates to any speaker that has an aluminum voice coil form. Alright, you've all seen the kits for sale, do it yourself, to replace the rotted foam. And about half of them tell you you don't have to remove the dust cap, you don't have to center the assembly that way. You can just put this on by feel. Some of them give a little disc that has a sine wave tone on it that'll move this back and forth for you, or they just tell you, oh, as you put it on, just be careful you don't pull off center. I always remove the caps unless it's impossible to remove the cap, and that happens on a rare occasion. But I remove the caps. I use various thicknesses of plastic shims to center the voice coil assembly. I'm going to show you. This glue that Infinity used in this era, this orange glue, it gets very hard, very brittle. So you don't even have to cut this cap off. You can simply get under it and just pull it off. The glue joint will fail. That glue has failed. It's brittle and hard. It no longer holds anything. So it's easy to get the cap off intact so you can reuse it. There's an inner cap in these Infinities. You see, this is a screen cap, a breathing cap. But this is just used for decoration. This is just a finish out here to make it look nicer. There's your real cap, and there again, the glue is corrupted. The glue has failed. Alright, and chips of this glue can get down in the gap. Now you see, we go down in the gap with the shims, and we'll put plastic shims in here of the right thickness, and we'll go all the way around and we'll center that up when we put the new foam on, so we know we're not going to have voice coil rub. Alright, so I bought these off eBay from a guy who'd already did the foam, a do-it-yourselfer. And he did a nice job. It looks real nice. It's real clean. There's no messy glue showing anywhere. It's all centered up. He did a really nice job. But then he tells me on his eBay ad, he says, well, one of them, he says, the spider has deteriorated. Now we know the inner suspension is called a spider, and they don't deteriorate. So I knew it was either one of two things. That's real common with this speaker. Either that glue joint had failed, the glue joint that holds the cone, the voice coil, and the spider together. That fails. Another way that joint fails is the spider rips, because the edge of the glue bead can have a sharp edge to it. And if you over excurt this woofer, you can tear the spider right there at that joint. So whether it comes unglued or whether it tears, it needs to be recentered with shims and then re-glued. That joint needs to be re-glued, in addition to putting new foam on, right? But now here's one more problem, and this is a problem with all these Infinities that have the aluminum form and any other speaker that has an aluminum form. The original foam rots. It opens up the tuning of the cabinet. You keep using it, the woofer moves too far. It's over excursion. Well, in this model, it can go back here, all the way back, and the bottom of the form bangs into the back plate here. Now, because it's made out of aluminum, this might be hard to see because, for the most part, I've already straightened it out. But you see, you can lift it up high enough, you can see the very bottom of the form, and you can see where that aluminum has bent over from slamming into the back plate. There were several places. Look here. Look carefully right there at that detail. You see, I've removed all that aluminum right there because it was, the inside of the form was bent up and it's rubbing on the pole piece. You can see there's not a lot of room in that gap. That's not a big gap. It's fairly tight. And so when that aluminum form folds in under, and now it's rubbing on the pole piece, and there's no way to stop that unless you remove the dust caps. In this case, where it was badly bent over, I got in here, I lifted it up, I took the X-Acto knife and I trimmed away that aluminum and took it up out of there. Another way, if it's not badly bent, there again, you can use a shim, and you can see, like right there, you see right there it's bent. There's a little section right there bent, a couple millimeters. I'm going to take a thick shim and I'm going to stick it down in here, and I'm going to use it to push that aluminum and straighten it back out. And I'm going to shove this up against the pole piece So the pole piece and the form I wedge together and get some pressure and straighten out that bend. Now once I get all those things straightened out and or removed, then I'll run the shim all the way around to make sure I'm clear. Alright, then I'll re-shim this entire form. Alright, I'll shim it all the way around. Okay, now the shims went in, it means they're not hanging on that bent aluminum anymore, so I've got that straight. So I'm going to shim that out, and I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to go over that glue bead, and I'm going to redo that glue bead right there. Alright, that's something to keep in mind. 3 things. When they tell you you don't have to remove the dust cap, that you can do the alignment by hand without shims, yeah, it's possible to be successful that way. But a secondary reason to remove those caps is so you get a chance to look down in there. You get a chance to look down there and see if this glue bead here has failed, or if this glue bead here has failed, or you get a chance to see if the form has been damaged, and even you can even see if it's shucked some of the windings off the bottom of the form. You can see if your lead wires have, the glue has failed there, which will cause a buzz or of an eventual failure. So there's more reasons to take the dust cap off than simple alignment.